This is not how chicken stew is made, but this is how I make my own chicken stew. Before you come for me, they don't used to put tomato before groundnut oil. They don't used to fry the chicken first. They don't used to use the oil for frying chicken to fry the tomato. They don't used to boil rice like that. Please, this is how I make my own chicken stew. This is how I cook my own meal for my family, and we enjoy it this way. So this chicken is chicken that I steamed the day before. I wanted to make this stew the day before, but I was too tired, so I just was able to steam the chicken, and then I put it in the freezer with the meat stock. I put the meat stock separately and put the chicken separately inside the freezer. And then this day that I'm making the stew, I decided to start by frying the chicken. So this is me bringing out my meat stock. You can see it has frozen. It is blocked. This is it. At first, I even thought it had spoiled because electricity is not stable here. So most times we use our generator, but thankfully it was not spoiled. So this is my chicken. I like my chicken golden brown. You never dey like say you wan burn. I no dey satisfied. So this is my tomatoes and my scotch bonnet pepper. I was going to prep them, to prepare them for blending. So this is me bringing out my chicken while frying the last batch of the chicken. So I want to go rinse my blender, put my tomatoes inside, and then start blending. The other sockets in this kitchen are spoiled. These are the only ones working. That's why I have to blend on top of my freezer. Normally, I don't like putting anything on top of that freezer, but we have to make do with what is available. So I want to blend the rest of the tomatoes right now, and start preparing the stew itself. So on this day, I had just come back from church. This is a video from last Sunday. Even we are eating the remnant of the stew today, this Sunday. Okay, now my tomato is ready. Everything has been properly blended, and now I want to start making the stew. So this is where the problem comes. I don't know if you fry your fresh tomatoes before putting in your tomato paste, that's before introducing your tomato paste, or you fry your tomato paste before introducing your fresh tomatoes. But this is the way I make mine, and this method has never failed me. I put my tomatoes first and allow it to cook so that the water would dry to an extent before introducing groundnut oil. So this is the tomato, and then I'm just going to let it simmer until the water dries to an extent. And then I introduce the groundnut oil that I used to fry the chicken because it already has some flavor, the flavor from the chicken. So I'll introduce the groundnut oil and then allow it to fry. And when I think or feel like it has fried, enough, and I introduce my tomato paste and then allow it to fry again for some time so that the both of them will be properly cooked before introducing my meat stock, my chicken, and other ingredients. This is how I make my stew. This is how I've always made my stew. And it always comes out nice. But then I see a lot of people online who fry their tomato paste before frying their fresh tomatoes, and I think it's still really cool. It doesn't matter what method of cooking you use, as long as you end up with the same results, as long as the food comes out tasty and people can eat it. I feel that's the end goal, and everybody should be satisfied with that. These are my tomato paste. I'm using 4 sachets of tomato paste because I wanted the stew to come out a bit, and this stew lasted us a week. Even it's still remaining now. It's not finished. It's been a week. Today is Sunday. I made this stew last Sunday. Today is Sunday, and it's still remaining. So the reason I don't like frying my tomato paste first is that when I steam my fresh tomatoes and it cooks down, I don't have the time or the energy to pour it out, then introduce groundnut oil, fry my tomato paste down before introducing the fresh tomatoes again. So I just put everything inside and let it cook. So I think this is the lazy way of cooking, but as long as the end result is still okay, I'm satisfied with the end result, then it's just perfect for me. So I'm frying it and I'm trying to make myself happy by singing and dancing, and that's it. So I'm discarding the sachets of tomatoes now, the waste. Oh, my voiceover is not easy. Oh. I heard someone saying that when you're narrating, like when you're voicing a video, you don't have to be telling us, okay, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that, now I'm doing that. You should just share something. Maybe you can say, cook my jollof rice with me, or cook my chicken stew with me while I tell you how my weekend went. Something like that. But the thing is, sometimes I feel like there's really no manual to this thing. I know a lady. I wouldn't say I started following her, but I got to know her when she was at around 8,000 followers. She does a lot of vlogs, come with me to the market, make dinner with me, stuff like that. So she does a lot of vlogs like that. So this lady does not narrate anything. She doesn't start, come with me to the market while I tell you what I did on Monday, or come with me to the market while I tell you what happened yesterday, stuff like that. No, she just tells you exactly what she's doing. Yes, you can see her doing it, but she'll still tell you. Like, for instance, cook my stew with me, and then she's telling you, now I'm checking the stew to see if it is frying. Now I'm stirring my stew. I'm doing this, I don't know if you get. And that video, that her method has taken her from 8,000 to over 200,000 followers in a year, a bit less than a year, just like that. And then there are other people too that are doing come with me to the supermarket while I tell you how my day went, and their videos are also blowing up. So I don't think there's any manual. If you can do come with me to this or cook my stew with me while I tell you about my father and it's working for you, fine. But if you're doing cook my stew with me and I'm explaining every single thing I'm doing and it's still working for me, then it's perfectly fine. I've tried both methods and they work. They work each one I do. If I say cook my stew with me while I tell you how my day went, how my Sunday went, or cook my stew with me while I tell you something I've always wanted to say, it works. The video will get views. And if I also say cook my stew with me and I'm narrating everything I'm doing one by one, okay, now I'm putting seasoning cubes and now I want to introduce my chicken back into the stew and all that, it also works. So I don't feel there's a manual, there's a particular way. They say two truths can coexist. So you can be right and I can also be right. Whatever is working for you, just keep doing it. That's why I always see posts on social media. Post at this time if you want your post to go viral. Turn on these settings. Do this, do this. And I've realized that most times you will do all of those things and your video will not still blow up. You will do all of those things and you won't get views, you won't get the engagement you're looking for. Just do your stuff. If it's going to blow up, it's going to blow up. If it's not going to blow up, it's not going. Just be consistent, put out quality content, something beautiful, and leave the rest and go and sleep. Anyway, how do you make your stew? Do you fry your fresh tomatoes first or you fry your tomato paste first? Tell me in the comments.